Brian, do you want to wait until after the introduction to go live, or do you want to go live right now?
I'm live now.
Okay, awesome. We're live!
Glad I wasn't picking my nose.
Thanks, Brian.
I waited until you started talking.
Oh, good, excellent. I'm Jenny Paxson. I'm from the Webster Public Library. I am the Reader's Discovery Librarian, but I do a lot of event planning here too that usually relate to special needs people, but also their caregivers. So this is a passion for me since I have two children with developmental disabilities, and my daughter has Down syndrome, my daughter Erica. But we have this great partnership with Parents Helping Parents, Parents Helping Parents Coalition of Monroe County and the Challenger Miracle Field. And so I'm gonna let them introduce themselves really quick, and then we'll get into the panel. All right, so if you want to stand up and say just a little bit about Challenger Miracle Field. I would just make sure over here. Okay, yeah.
Hi, I'm Beth Cunico. I've met a lot of you in this room, but I'm the director for Challenger Miracle Field. We're an all-inclusive, I would say sports program, but like I said last month, it's really less to do with sports and much more to do with the community and the network and the support system that we have here that we kind of celebrate here. Same thing there. I think the thing that you don't see online is how amazing our parents are and our network and the friendships that you form there, and this exact thing where we talk about what's going on with our kids and the people that we care for and the support community that we really are lucky to have here in Webster. So I'm very, very excited about this series and to hear from all of you. And I think that's it for me, for Challenger.
I'm gonna have Brittany do it this time.
My name is Brittany Jensick. I am the president of Parents Helping Parents Coalition of Monroe County. I am also a mama to 21 children, 14 of whom have intellectual, developmental, and medical disabilities. Parents Helping Parents is an organization that our goal is to support families with children with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Navigating those early days where they're suspecting that there are differences and seeking a diagnosis, receiving a diagnosis, and then trying to put supports in place. We partner with Step by Step and Parenting Village, and then this weekend we have an event Sunday the 9th from 10 to 12 at Challenger Miracle Field. We host play dates. We try to target the people who are waiting for services, but all families are welcome. We're trying to just build that village, build connections within the community. We also do the opposite month of the play dates. We do educational webinars like language development, motor development, encouraging speech, help with feeding, sleep, all sorts of different things. What we're really just trying to do is make sure that nobody feels alone on this journey at all.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's good.
Super important.
Now, if you want to introduce yourselves, a little bit about yourself and about your organization.
I don't know where to begin because there's so much to say, but good morning. Thank you so much for having me today. This is a real privilege to be in a room with all of you really special mamas. So my name is Cheryl Carlton. I am a mom first of a 17-year-old young man with Down syndrome. He's my why of why I do this, and he was a NICU baby, and we talked about this in the NICU, him and I, that I would probably do a fair bit of stuff for you. And here I am. I've been 17 years almost into this position for the Flower City Down Syndrome Network. I joined it when he was just a baby and haven't left, but it's become my family. And my passion is really to just help our families connect, and that's what Flower City does. So when you hear from Gigi's, we serve the same community, but we have the opposite situations. We don't have a brick and mortar building. We are always in the community. So what I have the privilege of doing, in addition to leading the organization, is I run the social groups where monthly and sometimes twice a month throughout the year, we are in the community celebrating together. So whether it's a sporting event like hockey or our Red Wings games, we have a annual family day at Seabreeze where we often have over 400 people coming, entire families. We currently serve between 150 and 200 families. However, we know so many more are here locally that aren't quite part of our network, but we also serve them in any capacity they need. So we do the social event really well. We have parties and events, and we break into smaller social groups. Some years, COVID changed that for us, but our birth to 6 group would meet and fellowship, share, and often, my experience was that group kind of grows up and those kids become family and friends, and that's been really exciting to watch that over the years. And then we have a teen group and an adult group, and our adult group is very large, and we're often trying to find appropriate things for them to do, and they love being together, which is really great. Again, COVID did change our kind of groove with that and what we were doing, but we go bowling, we go to the movies, but our vision really is to support the families, to help them network, but we provide resources. We often help with reimbursements on things that maybe self-direction or other reimbursement programs don't provide for, dance and, costumes and those kinds of things. The kids want to go skiing, they want to learn to ski. It's things that will help reimburse. We've been doing that for several years. We have fundraisers. We're doing a golf tournament to raise some funds. We do an annual buddy walk, which is well attended. We have a family camp at Sunshine Camp, which is one of my favorite places on earth. And our families just invade the place, and we have it to ourselves. And if you've never been to Sunshine Camp, you need to see that place. Our families hang out, we have campfires and food and enjoy ourselves, and then the next day we have our buddy walk right there, so it's kind of neat. We're really working hard with outreach and trying to get into the hospitals to find our families when they need us. We haven't broken into the prenatal world to provide that information to the doctors and nurses, which they desperately need. But we're working on that. We're trying to build more committees to do that work. There's always so much work to be done, so much work. So I'm going to push it over because I could talk all day about the things that we do. But
Isn't your golf tournament coming up?
yeah, June 15th. We need golfers. Love sponsors too, but we need some golfers. And we need our friends with Down syndrome to come and do meet and greets with our golfers, because that's why they're doing it. They want to see our friends, and we're working on that as well too. So, but thank you. And I'll answer questions if you need to, but go ahead.
Hi, I'm Emily Carpenter from Sage, Rochester. I taught special ed for 7 years until I resigned in Webster because I wanted to reach more families. We have been around for 3 years now. We are located just up the road on Ridge Road. Sage provides social skills, cooking classes, art classes. My main goal of Sage is to create a safe place for our children. Something new we added this year is sexuality education classes for adults with Down syndrome and and autism and other different disabilities. And what's really cool about that is that I'm one of the few people around here that are trained in the Elevatus curriculum, to do that because we found out that a lot of these kids aren't getting health class. And they are missing out on a lot of education and safety. So that has been our really big push this past year is our sex ed classes. And it doesn't just cover sex ed, right? It covers caring for our bodies and periods and puberty and all of that stuff that they're not getting in schools, which is just really, really awesome. And then a lot of our kids, they want love and they want relationships and they want to know how to have a healthy one. And they want the independence to do that. So that's been really awesome. So again, at Sage, we cover a lot of things. We do executive functioning coaching, we do social skills coaching, we do Best Me classes, which is like how do I advocate for myself. How do I learn to say no? How do I say what I want? Right now, it's me, and then we have 2 special ed teachers, and then 3 teaching assistants. And we are looking to kind of stay where we are right now. It got big really fast. And, so right now we are coasting, but we're looking to get bigger and bigger as it goes on. And we're close with Gigi's. We're close, we do a lot with Gigi's too. So yeah, that's Sage.
I want that training.
It's amazing.
I know, I looked
It's
into
amazing.
it,
It's
yeah.
if I wasn't a special ed teacher, I'd be a health teacher, so it's like my perfect world.
Yeah, I've looked into it.
Yep, Elevatus training. It's actually like approved, like OPWDD loves it. The founder, Dr. Catherine McLaughlin, is working with OPWDD right now to create a lot of trainings. So they have like a caregiver training, a parent training, and then the one that I have is for 16 and older, and then I adapted it for, I think it's like 13 through 15, because that's when puberty is hot and heavy. So we've been doing that, but yes, it's phenomenal. Elevatus.
Is it the one with the 21, like parks, the 22?
Yes, yep, so there's 22 topics.
It's the one I'm familiar with. Highest counselor wanted to do a group, but because she's also a counselor, and she's a private counselor, she couldn't get a group.
Is it Dr. Oaks?
Yes.
Yes, yep.
So it's the same?
Yep, same exact thing. So what's really cool is I've actually been in touch with Dr. Oaks. And so there is a consent test that people can take afterwards to say if they can consent to sex. Because a lot of times we think, oh, they have a disability, they can't, but they can. And so after my class, I might send them to her, I might send them to the ARC, I might send them to Coley Childhood, and there is a test or an assessment that someone can give them and to say yes, they can consent to sex, or no, they can't.
Before you just send them out like that?
Yep.
See what their consenting tests are, because anyone can do it, they can pick a million different consenting tests. And the one I'm most familiar with at Early Childhood, at least a number of years ago, was set up so I couldn't even answer some of those questions. So you
Yeah.
have to be really careful as
Yeah.
to who you send your people to
Mhm.
make sure that those evaluations
Mhm.
are really meant for what you're
Yeah.
looking for.
Yeah, they do have very specific questions on them, which is why I tell parents when I begin my thing, we will talk about what exactly sex is, right? Like, because that's like stuff like that, and that's, but yeah,
Yours was,
yeah,
I confused me,
mhm,
okay? So
yeah.
I've been married 44 years.
And you're like, what goes where? Yeah, yeah,
But yet, when my other daughter did hers, it was totally different.
oh, it was, okay,
So you
Yeah.
can choose
Mhm.
different tests to give. So you really want to make sure that when you're sending someone to whatever organization you're sending them to,
Mhm.
you know what tests they're being given.
yeah. Yeah, I've had a couple kids, or adults, excuse me, go to ARC and have been successful there, and then also
Yeah,
Dr. Oaks.
My daughter was done through
The ARC.
CAC.
Okay, yep.
So that was through ARC.
Mhm.
And that was a good test.
Yes. Yeah. So.
That's good information, though. You don't-
Yeah.
You don't have to, good information.
Mhm.
She's probably got more experience than most of us.
Yeah.
I know. That's where I learned from, other moms.
But I would love to like be in touch with you.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. How old is
She's
she?
27.
Oh yeah,
and she has
perfect.
a fiance.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So absolutely.
Mhm.
I wanna be-
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
calling her right after this.
Yeah, no, seriously, I
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
wanna send
Well,
her.
we will be starting a new sex ed term in September.
Okay.
So yes, and we break it up with Sorry, I know we probably shouldn't talk about this now.
Yeah,
But so we like break it up from like ages like 16 to 21 and then older, because we're just in different stages of life. They all get the same thing, right? But we try to keep it around the same age group, because we actually see some relationships forming within classes too, because they're meeting new people, and they're figuring out, oh, you want this in life too, which is really cool.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. So one of my favorite
Really
stories.
big thing.
Yeah, one of my favorite stories is, and I won't use names, is I had a couple in class, and they're both learning it, and they're both around the same age and stuff, and, you have to ask before you do anything. Consent, 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 I down their throats, I shove that, right, consent, right? And this one boy's like, can I kiss you? And she's like, you can do anything to me. And I'm like, all right. So, yes, it's a great class, so.
Do you, I'm sorry
Yeah.
to interrupt, do you have OTs or any other
we don't. We have people that come and support. We don't label it as like OT, music therapy, PT, speech pathology, anything like that, just because it changes a lot of things about how our business can be run, because then it turns into like a medical thing.
Yeah.
So we are working with an OT friend that's like, oh, I want to do like a sensory supported group. But again, it's very, OPWDD is really a lot of hoops, and I want to make it as accessible to people as I can, so I want everything to be covered.
Is it self-directed?
Yep.
being covered?
Everything is covered by it. Everything is covered by self-direction.
What about people who don't have self-direction?
So we're working on like a scholarship thing now. We're not quite there yet.
Because her fiance doesn't.
Okay. Yeah, so we do payment plans, and we're working on scholarships right now. That's just the next thing on our list, you know. So, but yeah, bring them over.
Well,
It's a great time.
he's in County, so that was another question later.
Totally fine. Yep, we have kids. We have people from,
Yeah,
what is-
he's not going to get in from Julie Ball to do the class. I wanted to talk to you about that.
yeah, we can talk about that. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, my name's Kristen Housel. I'm a speech pathologist, and I'm also newly promoted as the director of Gigi's Playhouse Rochester.
Oh, congratulations. That's awesome.
Yes, yes, thank you. So at Gigi's, we provide free educational therapeutic programming to individuals with Down syndrome of all ages. So we have one-on-one speech with me, we have one-on-one literacy and math tutoring, and then we also have group programming for exercise classes, cooking classes, social skills. We have yoga, art therapy, music therapy. And I think I said already, but we serve all ages and everything is free. We do a lot of fundraising as well because of that, the free component. It's not free to us. We have lots of programs, and we have lots of fundraisers and events to help really support the programs that we run. Let's see, what else should I share about Gigi's?
Are other children that don't have Down syndrome diagnoses able to use your
Yes.
services?
So so we get this question a lot. So all of our funding is specifically for the Down syndrome population, but we are inclusive. So a lot of our group programmings, even more and more now, we have a wide variety of people attending with various different diagnoses. So yes.
Hard to say no.
How did you get involved with Gigi?
I got involved, I started in 29.
Awesome.
What's that? So I was an early intervention provider. I still am when I can find the time. But I did EI, and I had a little boy with Down syndrome. And the Playhouse had just opened. The Playhouse opened in 2017. So the mom had asked if I wanted to do speech at Open Play. So I went and I did my speech session. And Donna Rush, she's the executive director of the Playhouse. She's been involved since the start. Sat in on my session, and she, at the end of it, said, you know, we're really pushing to get a grant and get funding for the Amina Grace Speech and Language Program, and I want you. Would you be interested? And so I sent her my resume, and she held it on her desktop, and they hired me 2 years later. So, yeah, and I've been there since I started the Speech and Language Program in 2019. I went through COVID with it. I took everything virtually within a week, and then we luckily got back in person pretty quickly. And I've got into program coordinator, and now I'm the director.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's been 5 years.
Thank you. I know.
That's wild.
Are you there full-time?
I'm there every day, all
All
day.
day, every day, all day?
Yes.
Wow, that's really great.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I love it. I think it's one of the most wonderful special places in the world, and I love partnering with parents, helping parents. We've done a couple of the play dates, but yeah, we're always looking for outreach opportunities. We have a very large family database. I think we have over 400 families in our database. I think around 125 are active right now. We have a really well-attended, consistent adult programming. Our school-age kids, there's pretty consistent teenage. We are, oddly enough, having a hard time getting babies in.
Where
Yeah.
are they?
I've reached
Say
out
the
to
same
early
thing.
intervention. I've
Yeah.
offered parent-child groups. I've offered developmental groups. I'm an independent provider in the county. I've been able to connect with other independent providers and have them get involved, but I'm not sure where the disconnect is.
When I was a parent starting out with Erica as a baby, you know, I was terrified to bring her out in the community.
Yeah.
Especially since she had a heart condition.
Yes,
And so even after she had her repair for her heart, I was scared.
Yeah.
You know? And so it took me a long time to be able to like go out there. And
Yes.
especially since like with COVID too,
Mhm.
it made it even scarier to go out and do things.
Yeah.
So.
and I think that that's like the the overriding theme is that
Yeah.
it's scary. But I think once parents come in the doors, I think they're immediately put at ease, honestly, because
The biggest hurdle is just getting there, right?
yeah, it's just getting there. But yeah, it's a great place, and we're always looking. Our doors are always open, even if we don't have programming going on. You know, our doors are open to do open play, to do tours. So we're always looking to expand our Gigi's family.
And just, where are you located again?
We're 372 North Goodman Street. We're technically in the Village Gate, but we're in the new builds behind the older buildings.
You can't miss
You can't
the
miss it.
windows. You can't miss the
yes.
windows.
All the windows,
It's like a little
yep.
slice of happiness,
Mhm.
smack in the middle of the city. We're very fortunate
Mhm.
in this community to have this.
Yes, for
Like,
sure.
And there's no competition. We all serve the same people. And it's really, really just a privilege to sit back and be part of it
Yeah.
and watch it. I'm an older
The more
mom
the
and I
merrier.
watch it. And I've just been watching our community just really. There's so much more awareness now. I mean, we have a building that services and serves kids and adults with Down syndrome. We never had that before.
No, Fire's 26.
Right, we never had that
And,
before.
A lot of this stuff didn't exist.
No.
And even Flower City
Right.
was just focused on babies
Sure.
at the time. So we just left it and only came back, I don't know, a few years ago.
We-
A lot of
yeah.
communities don't have this.
Oh,
They
no.
do not have it.
Yeah.
To this
Most-
day, more
most-
adults.
And we see that because we get a lot of families coming from other places that are probably an hour away.
Yeah.
We do too.
So
Yeah.
that's amazing that we can have this for them, and whether they need, you know, in-home programming like that, or just socialness, you know, socializing, and, which is a huge piece of that world, you know, they need friends, they need friendships, we have dances, they dance, you know, it's really amazing to watch. Flower City started 33 years ago. And it was because, which is sad though, it should have been way longer. You know, some moms had some babies and they looked at each other and said, let's have a garage sale and make some money, and they did. And now we're doing really, really good stuff all these years later. There's so much work to be done though. The
That was gonna be
outreach.
my question to you guys, aside from, not reaching the younger group, but what are some common roadblocks that you guys see, specific to Down syndrome for you, just within what you do? Do you guys have the seeing of those common kind of roadblocks or struggles that families face?
So, because I'm private, I don't rate. I'm working to become a non-for-profit. So
Good for
in
you.
the future, we're getting there. Again, it's a lot of steps. But right now, self-direction and OPWDD is a huge hurdle. And I'm
Huge.
sure the moms here can all attest to
Huge.
that. And I have so many come to me, and I send them out to resources and all that, but it's just, there are so many steps, and New York State is getting pickier and pickier and harder and harder, and I think that is the main obstacle to overcome that I'm seeing based on just accessibility. They want their kids involved in so many things, but again, everything costs money,
Yeah.
and the accessibility of OPWDD is getting harder.
If
Yeah.
you became a not-for-profit, how would that help that situation? Is it because you'd be able to take donations in?
I would be able, and then lessen prices, yes, so I would be able to not, yes, so correct.
You'd be able to take both communities.
Correct, exactly. So I would be able to take donations, cut the costs. Right now, unfortunately, costs are what they are just because the cost to run it is so
Oh, yeah.
incredibly high.
And grants that would help support
Yes.
communities and programming, and there's a lot there.
Yeah, so I think that's, so I would say, yeah, the OPWDD thing is what I'm seeing for families really difficult at this point.
And I think the flip side of what you're saying, it's difficult because so many of our families do not know what they're entitled to. They don't know what their rights are. Legal rights is huge. They just don't know them. I don't know all of them, you know? But they don't know what they don't know. So just navigating one area is hard enough, but there's so many other areas. I have a binder for everything, you know, it's,
You're organized.
well, I have to be, but,
Well, that's why after you said about prenatal, you know, I think with Down syndrome, at least you're able to know that ahead of time, know that you might correct in that, which is fantastic to be able to get
Often,
that information.
yeah.
Often you do. I didn't with my daughter
I didn't
until she
either.
was 2. We didn't have an initial diagnosis, and hers is not Down syndrome, but I think that was why, you know, that and being new to the area, I had no idea that we lived in such a, you know, rich resource area.
We
You know, I
do.
had all these options, and so that's why I love that we're doing this and getting that word out there. There's a huge network, and we just don't know, like you said, until you know what's out there, so this is fantastic.
Yeah,
really
I think
is.
it's the same. It's like, it's how, like, you know, it's such a specific population and how, like, in the hospital, how are they not leaving with, oh, this is your resources?
Right, yeah.
There's Gigi's, there's Sage, there's
Mhm.
Flower City, and go now.
Right, or even at, it's not Kirsch anymore, but even at Kirsch, to give every
Right.
person new to the area or new diagnosis or anything, like my daughter is 14, but just recently had seizures, and so epilepsy, they gave us, I mean, pages and pages of documents. I would love to see if we can maybe.
I think it takes an
Together
army
something to
to
give
get
the
that done.
It
Because
does,
you,
it really
and
does.
that's probably something that, you know, we could consider working on as a group.
Absolutely.
Because I hate to reinvent the wheel all the time, but these hospitals, we have about 10 hospitals local. You have to stock them with supplies, but where are those supplies? Who is that contact person? Who's, you know, the turnover in departments and social workers, is it head nurse? Like, I think we have to build relationships with them and learn. And then our stuff needs to be in a really pretty packet that's accessible, because probably what I got was a really old blue folder that had some,
I
I mean,
got Chris knocking on my door going, do you need help?
right?
And I was like, yes!
You think?
I didn't get anybody.
Right.
Was it Chris
right.
Giminelli?
I already had this.
His,
Oh, yes.
Landon was just in my wedding on Saturday.
Stop.
Landon was the junior officiant.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, congratulations.
Oh, thank you,
on your
yeah.
wedding day.
He was able to marry us, which was really great. So it was awesome.
I can't.
Yes, yeah, he did awesome.
What a doll.
Yeah, the Giminellis are wonderful. I
Yeah.
hope they hear it if they're watching. If they're watching. But
Hope so too. Oh,
Yeah.
that's really special. And
Yeah.
how did that happen? You met them because of
so I
this
taught at
world?
Holy Childhood.
Yeah, and it just. look
Landon
at where
was
it
my
went.
student. Debbie set me up with her nephew.
And look where. it
Bada
went.
bing, bada boom. Yeah.
And look at, I mean,
Yeah, and I
there's-
just became absolutely in love with the special ed world, and just, you know, they are better people than we are. So it's just, I was like, why am I hanging out with these jerks when I could hang out with these cool people? I mean, you know,
I
so.
know, and you kind of get to have some fun stuff
I
during the
have,
day.
yes, I
don't
have the
really
best
hang out
job
during the
ever.
day with everyone.
I'm
working.
I'm the lucky one, for
Good
sure.
for you, good for
Yes.
you.
I think another big hurdle too, we recently, not so much a hurdle, but something we're sort of navigating. Within a year, we piloted a career development program with the goal at the end of the year is to have a paid job or meaningful volunteer work. And I think it's really, you know, getting out there and finding the businesses that are open to that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think that's something, you know, that's something new for us.
How do you find them? Yeah.
But, you know, but we're very hopeful, but that's, you know, trying to make those relationships and connections so that, you know, we can,
Project Search already has made a lot of those connections.
yes, yes.
Will they share?
But I would hope so.
Yeah.
I don't know, I know a lot of the kids that have come through and applied to the program, we've only gone through one group, they just finished our first piloted year, and now we're interviewing for our next year. They had done I think the Project Search, and then, but I don't think, unlike the Nazareth programs, I don't think that at the end that they
Well, yeah.
say, oh, you will have a job.
No.
But at Gigi's,
No,
that's
what I'm
the
saying is the
goal.
Project Search knows businesses that are.
Oh, right.
to it. I'm not saying put them in Project
Mhm.
I'm saying they already know so many places. that-
Right.
That they know.
They have their
that-
list.
Mhm.
that- Or job coaches from different agencies would know where their contacts are.
Sure.
So
Mhm.
instead of reinventing the wheel, you might be
Yeah.
able to collect that information.
Right.
And I think it's hard with that too, right? Because job coaches are their own thing. And like, I don't know about you, but like, you probably can't use job coaches.
Well, so that's the thing with.
There's so many.
Yeah, there's like all the moving parts of,
Yeah.
of that. So
Uh-huh.
we've made connections and helped families make connections with job coaches.
Mhm.
And that's, I think, if that is how it works, I think that's
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah.
But again, it's like the 12 steps that led up
Yeah.
to it, and have we
Sure.
lost steam?
Mhm.
Or,
Right, then it's like, do they need to be involved in a separate program to then get these job coaches?
right.
Yeah, yeah. I think the big thing too would be, right now, I take Landon as his Compab worker to a coffee shop in Fairport, and I'm like his job coach, but not really. But I'm almost like training the coffee shop that you don't need a job coach.
Right.
And I think that that's a big push too, is that like talk to these people as if they are people, right? And it's like, if you don't, and so my big thing when I take him to work on Thursdays is I step back and I let the manager work with him and, and the other workers. I think it's important that we connect them to these other jobs, but we also let these people know, like, just talk to them like people.
Right.
I said, if he's not doing something, just correct him, it's okay. And I think that that's a big
I'm
thing.
still finding, and he's almost 18, that they ask me, and I said,
Yeah.
you could
He's
ask
an
him, he's right
adult.
here.
Yeah.
Right.
He's right here.
Right,
Yeah.
and they want that too, I think they want that
Yeah.
insurance, they want that
He
autonomy.
sure
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
The other thing about, like looking for jobs is I found my daughter a job at a place that's never had anyone.
Mhm.
Even though they serve people with disabilities, they've never had someone with a disability work for them.
Right.
Interesting.
And I talked to the CEO, got her in the door, she had to get the interview and get the job.
Mhm.
But the door was open so she could be in and have the interview.
Mhm.
So it doesn't have to be a place that's necessarily already open for that either.
Right.
There are
I love
places
it,
out there.
yeah.
What?
I love that idea, though, to just ask yourself some days,
Mhm.
They have to learn how to work, and that's where Matthew's at. He needs to learn how to work. So we're finding
Holly
ways.
was volunteering,
Yeah.
so she was Matthew's age.
I don't know how charitable my kid is. I think he wants some money. He's liking those dollars, he says, right?
Smart boy.
So please,
Where's he going to school?
He's in the city school district.
Okay,
He's
very
in Edison.
awesome. Oh,
Yeah,
what about
doing
ETP?
great.
Was it ETP?
I'm sorry?
E.T.
Is it ETP that it's called? Where if you're in, like doing a job, the state will pay for the first, they'll pay for you. to
There's
go
so many
someplace.
options out there.
I'm not positive. I don't know. about
Yeah.
I
that.
have to think about
Yeah.
what the name was, because Kaya's first job, the first 6 months was paid for by the state, so they could see how good she was working.
Mhm.
Mm,
She already been volunteering now, but they,
Right.
they may pay for like 6 months or something.
Interesting.
You have your son apply for Gigi Prep.
I think I've got
Yeah.
my little notes going
Yeah,
on
good.
right here.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
took
good.
lots of notes. I think it would be
I do
fabulous.
too. It's an amazing program, and we're lucky with Gigi's. We have all these really well-researched and really well-developed sequential, everything's purposeful
Yeah.
programs for our people, and they're amazing, and they're oftentimes run by retired teachers, physical therapists,
Sure.
occupational therapists. So it's all really
love it.
good stuff.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll be hearing.
I just wanted to comment on somebody had mentioned like, we're not competing or whatever.
Oh, right.
The collaborations that we've experienced and like learned about, it's just beautiful, first of all.
I know.
But I have learned something new every single time I've collaborated with someone.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The fact that we're all taking notes and being like, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know you, it's just wonderful. Like,
Mhm.
let's keep talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These diverse abilities dialogues, this is what it's all about. Let's keep talking and
Mhm.
sharing. And I find it funny, like, we make our flyers for our events, and we're running out of room with how many collaborators are on the events, and that's wonderful. It's a
Mhm.
wonderful
Yeah.
thing. Half our flyer will be the logos of who's
Of
collaborating.
everyone.
But that's
Yeah.
the way it's supposed to be.
Mhm.
It
It's
is.
just wonderful.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So thank you all.
I appreciate
My
that.
pleasure.
Yeah, and we did a resource fair for the families in the city school district, because I wear another hat as I run the special ed parent group. There never was one, which serving 4,500
Mhm.
families. And there's so much that folks don't know. But we, if really just, or CPAC, it's what it's called, we have created such a community resource base that we had our first ever resource fair last year. And we had 52 tablers that they were so happy to see each other.
It's such a special community here.
It's so
It's
cool.
so
And
special.
they
Yeah.
really, I'm going to do this year where they get a little bit more time to kind of connect with each other before the families come.
We love to chit chat.
Because I didn't realize how important that really was. And they,
Do that too next year.
yeah,
for
right,
this
give us
fair.
some time to
We have
kind of,
an hour before the fair.
right. I wanted to keep getting up and chit-chatting with everyone.
Right.
Do you guys have the
Yeah.
dates of the fair already?
I do.
'Cause I can get this.
And we're September 14th.
Yours is September,
Yeah,
yep. We've got
well,
yours.
See, I'm in the
everyone there for
process.
We've
that.
got yours on the calendar.
Yeah, but I tell you, that's really it, you're right, the networking, and I didn't say that in any way that there would be insinuation that there's any,
No,
but we just serve the same people
You're
doing,
not the first people to like ask about it.
Yeah.
Like, you guys kind of do the same thing, isn't that?
No.
No,
No,
it's
no,
not.
Yeah.
It's like we
Not
all
even
do this
close.
together. We all need each other.
not even close, and so critical for all of it. Like, I mean, I do, when I put my little flyers together for what we call the birth packets, and I give them to the social worker at Strong, and we're trying to find some other folks, I have Gigi's flyers in there. I would love some Sage, like, we need to
gotta
put
get on
those
it.
in there. You don't want to overwhelm a new family, but just to have some pamphlets in there, and to have a really beautiful welcome letter, maybe a little onesie, and sometimes, a book or something. But, I never know where those go, are they received? Some, you got one, and some, once they become members, of Flower City, and,
I still have mine.
do you really? Aw. And it's really important that we don't miss people.
It was,
Makes you feel like you're not
we
alone.
had like 6 hours notice
Yep,
to bring our daughter home.
and here she is, and,
We were like, oh my gosh, what do we do now?
Mhm.
Our son that's older than her has autism, and we thought we were very well equipped to be the parent of a child with special needs, and it was about as polar opposite of an experience as I
Yeah.
ever could have imagined.
yep,
So we
Surprise.
did, we sat there those
Yeah.
first few days like, wow, what are we,
Yeah.
what are we doing?
what are we doing? How
Yeah,
does this
so
go
it's
now?
odd that Flower City knocked on my door.
That's very special, good. That's nice to hear. We need to do it more and better and not miss anyone, and,
I'm wondering, just thinking about the hospitals and the social workers, and I don't know if child life specialists because I know they're like a newer thing in hospitals, are those who we should be connecting with now as well, the child life specialists?
don't know. That's-
Because I
I'd
can,
Love to know, and would
because
love
I
to.
can reach out to the head person at Strong. I've been in contact with her before, so I could ask that, like,
I
hey,
think it would be great.
because I feel like that would be someone too, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, how we've done it, we've found moms that are nurses or like.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
we give them things.
Okay.
and-
And they kind of know where it goes.
yeah.
And then,
But,
yeah.
but still, there is such disconnect.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think it's, yeah.
Even like outpatient endo clinics or ear, nose, and throat clinics and things like that, because I just remember like, we joke as moms, we're like, okay, here's another specialty I have to go to. And you'll
So
find
true.
them somewhere.
Yeah.
You'll always find, I sit in an office and I look at all the flyers, like,
Yeah.
is there anything here that I
Yeah.
can benefit from?
Mhm.
I do too.
Yeah, the ear, nose, and throat, I saw a speech
Right.
therapist.
You know, we're right.
Up there
Mhm.
for an event that's coming up, so.
I
And
think-
they have their own child life specialists, especially before procedures, like
Sure.
They're wonderful.
helping the kids get under anesthesia.
Mhm.
That would be a great.
That's what I'm
resource to
wondering.
connect with.
Yeah.
So what kind of, like, what are those questions, those big questions that people ask? So we're talking about all these things, like, but what are some of those questions that you get from, like, people coming in, like, that they need the most help with? I know we talked about the DVD, but
You that-
besides that,
that would be the biggest question, or a lot of what are my legal rights? Like, you know, I'm struggling at CSE meetings, and I hear that a lot.
I hear, what am I gonna do with them when I get older?
Yes.
That's a big question that I get.
I
What
remember that.
What
Yeah.
are my options? What are my resources? And I have so many parents that come to me and they feel guilty because they are unable to care for their child anymore, and they are looking at homes, and I, you know, it's okay. You know, and I think that that's the biggest thing, is to reassure them, you know, there are options, and if you feel that a home is the best option, like, that's okay. I have lots of friends that are in homes and that they're thriving.
I know.
So I think the biggest one is, like, after 21, things just drop.
I think the whole transition out of, into the adult world is literally foreign to so many people. Starbridge did a really good job. They did creating a life after high school. And I went
awesome.
through that program with Matthew last year, and he participated, and that was really good. I learned a lot there of stuff I still didn't know, and it's like, as a mom or even as a leader, how do I not know this stuff exists? Like,
Because your brain can only hold so much.
There's,
Yeah, you know,
amen to that,
yeah.
right? And I'm a volunteer, right? This is not a paid position, never was, maybe one day, but not now. So there's only so much time and energy into it, and that's why I think collaboration's huge, to support each other. I don't want to go find all these people in the hospital without talking to them, right? It's
Yeah.
like, I'm going to send them straight to you. Well, not now, because you're full, but,
Yeah.
yeah.
We're trying.
Once you become an
We're well.
not-for-profit, we
And I
got
can
you.
hire some more people, and
Right.
yeah.
That's exciting to know that that's even your plan, like.
Yeah, so we have a lot of things in
And
the,
that's, you know, the things that people ask me, I'm just, whatever it is, they're all big deals. I just try to find a resource for them that I know of. Whether it's therapy, I've sent millions, it feels like, over to Gigi's, because that's what we don't have. That support. I remember early intervention, I remember all the therapies in my home. That's tough for people. They say they just can't do it. Yay, we have that option, which we didn't have. I would have done that, yeah, that was a big deal for, well, you probably still have them in your home, like, that's a big deal. Wonderful, those are some pretty amazing friendships and relationships over the years of people that just invaded my home for Matthew since he was 6 weeks old. But I think most of what I do is just encourage that they're not alone. And that, you know what, I know, and you're not alone, and when you shared struggles as well, but you're not alone, and guess what? You can come to this event that's actually in public with your child that might show a really big behavior and might be humiliating and embarrassing to you, but we got you, because there's probably some others having the same struggle, and it's the safest place you can be is at a Red Wings game when we're all together, and it's okay. Like, your kid might not be paying attention, or might have a struggle. So that's where I feel like, I personally, I feel like I can help families that come to me. I don't always know the answer. Most often, I don't know the answer. But I say I'm no expert. I'm a mom first, and I kind of fell into this position that I love. It's going to be very hard for me to give up one day. But I love this community when they're together, and I see, we just had an ice cream social, and just your daughter's sitting there, and here comes Jimmy, and Jimmy hadn't been around in many years. He's a young adult. Right. And it was Jimmy, and it was just perfect. Yeah, she is. She's our little meet and greeter, but that was sweet. And, you know, the mom then shared with me, thank you so much for, greeting him and his worker. And she's back. And, she was happy to see that her son was welcomed at an event that she wasn't at with a worker. And it's just a warm family, it's just very sweet.
What I was really, one thing that struck me with our, was it the Rays or whatever, and how many families that showed up.
Oh, our World Down Syndrome Day.
World Down Syndrome Day.
Yeah.
There were a number of little babies.
Oh, my goodness.
And, everyone's willing and eyeing over these little babies. And I guess I got to one person late, because I got there a little later, and I went, oh, cute. And she looked and she said, a lot of people have said that, look out in the community, and people are
Isn't that hard to
And all
hear?
of these people are coming up and saying how adorable our baby is. And she's like, it made her feel really, really good. It actually wasn't the family who came to me, it
Yeah,
was someone else.
And there's,
And
yeah,
it was like, wow, you know, I'm part of this, like, people don't look at us like, yeah, wow.
Different, you're included.
Yeah. And she said, and the other thing she said is what was really cool is seeing the older kids, and how friendly they are with each other, and how they're goofing off with each other.
I can't imagine there's anything better than that when you have a new baby and you're at an event specifically for Down syndrome and you're seeing all these different ages and you sit back and you think, oh, that could be Matthew, you know? That's how I was when Matthew was little. I saw one of our friends swimming. Will he ever swim? Is he ever going to be able, he's a fish. We have a pool, right? He's a fish. She was swimming away and I thought, I think he's going to swim someday, you know? Like, what do you know when they're 4 months old? It's terrifying. It's terrifying every day.
She's like, when before I'm here, it's like, I think my kid's not gonna do anything.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking around.
I think that's the beauty of
Yeah, I think
being
so, too.
together.
That's that like intangible sort of like magic almost that we have, like being supportive of each other as agencies, as
Yep.
parents. In the community, I see it all the time in Challenger too.
Yeah.
Parents feel comfortable because their kid is safe there and they're accepted.
Yeah.
We're playing baseball, it's not about baseball, it's about seeing friends, or just if you don't want to play, you want to go out in the open field, cool, you want to hang out in the
Yeah.
dugout, fine. You don't feel like coming that day because.
You want to go over there and
you're
pick
busy
your nose?
Also
You're okay there
cool,
too.
right?
Yeah.
And it's okay.
But for the parents to see, like you said, the older kids, or for the younger kids to see the older
Right.
kids and the friendships, and knowing that, okay, we're gonna be okay. I mean, just as a parent, to have that security
Yeah.
is huge, and then all those other pieces that come together, and all those other like underpinnings of friendships and
Yeah.
networking and resources, it's just huge, and so.
And that's how we get the answers to what you said was
Right.
your families want to know what it looks like when they get
Afterwards,
older.
uh-huh.
You fellowship with each other and you spend time.
Right.
I've learned 99.9% of it is from other moms and dads, but mostly moms who I connect with, but didn't even know at 3 years old that Medicaid would jump in and pay for diapers. Do you know how huge that was for me? Like, I didn't even know that until like maybe he was 5 when someone said, yeah, you can get those through your doctor. I'm like, I didn't know that was a thing.
And I didn't know that, with a disability, you could get, Amazon at a cheaper price until Gabby's mom posted that.
Yeah,
And I didn't know that.
we have a Mother Knows Best group, and we all jump in there and, I'm so proud of that group. When one mom asks a question, you have like 25 moms with,
Where, is this on Facebook?
yeah, Mother Knows Best, you gotta get.
Cheer
on
alert.
this. Yeah,
I want to know best.
yeah. And you will, you just, whether it's about sleep apnea or something,
Looking for a dentist. or
yeah,
looking for-
everyone has such great
Or if-
advice.
If you know something that.
Yeah. Hey, I just found this out, I want to share.
Yeah.
That's a really great reason. There's just, it's not doctors and nurses, it's moms. And it's really great information.
There's also, I wanted to just share, only because it's come up a lot, and it's been, even in schools, and how, even some teachers have never worked with somebody with Down syndrome, and they reach out to me, and, or I have a mom that's like, can you talk to school SLP, and help make the connection of, what you see, and at Gigi's, we actually, I'm a part of it, we do an educator symposium, and it is specifically for
Nice.
teachers, providers, therapists, families, for individuals with Down syndrome. And we do it 2 times a year. We do it in March and we do it in September. It's all virtual. You get continuing ed units. It's free. And it's all specialists that present on how to promote success in the classroom. So it's a speech, there's math and literacy, and then it moves into promoting positive behaviors. And then it gets into, what am I missing? Speech, math, literacy, promoting positive behaviors. Oh, and exercise. And it's amazing. Every time we do it, it gets better and better. It's about a 3.5 hour.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Because as a special ed teacher who went through special ed training, there was not training on Down syndrome,
Nope.
right? There was not training on, I mean,
Nope.
I think I took maybe 3 extra days of classes. And, you know, all I've learned was from working at Holy Childhood and the
Right.
hands-on, and then like research and stuff. So I think that's so awesome that you're
Right.
offering that.
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
And I
it's-
can definitely get, I think the date, we have it set, it's in one of the Saturdays in September.
gosh. Yeah, send
So it's
that
every
my way, I'll send
September,
it out.
every March.
Okay.
And we try to push that out to as many educators and schools as we can because unfortunately, it's still, like, there's still,
A disconnect.
yeah, there's still not a lot of experience working with individuals with Down syndrome. And not that it's any different with working with anybody else with a developmental delay or disability or diagnosis. But there are a few, you know, GG-specific
Yeah.
tools that we share with everybody, so
Oh, there's some differences.
also-
I kind of.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, no, stubborn. That
Oh, yeah.
equals, right, like Down syndrome equals stubborn. What's another one? Yeah.
It's like routine.
Yeah.
You can't do routine.
And
Yeah,
slow. Does anybody
predictability.
move fast?
Yeah.
No, we have sloths.
Unless I have
They're
chocolate.
sloths.
I have
Oh,
one girl
chocolate
that
does
loves
it?
chocolate.
Oh, I need
I got her down the aisle with it.
I can't get them to move.
I said, you walk
That's
down
how
that
you
aisle
got
with
her down the
flowers,
aisle?
I got a chocolate bar for you at the end.
Nice work. Nice work. I could be bribed with chocolate. That works.
I've been reading a number of articles through the Down syndrome global one, and I was reading something that just a lot of interesting little tidbits about, like, I didn't know that this was typical with Down syndrome, that a lot of people, what my daughter does is, I did this last week. Well, it was 3 years ago.
Amen. Yep.
And
Yeah.
that is something that I did
Yep.
not know
Yeah.
was, I just thought it was
Yeah.
specific her.
No.
But it is, it's a thing that is,
Mhm.
seems to be something that's very common, and I didn't know that. I thought
Calculating when and
Mhm. Time is
how
really
long
hard.
ago. Time is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that goes along with executive functioning too,
Yeah.
where they had that, like, that time blindness, they can't really have that concrete, when that was exactly. Like, even I'll be like, what did you do this weekend? And then I'll, you know, Saturday or Sunday, let's go back and, you know, yeah, it's a whole frontal lobe thing with that as well.
Right,
So.
so there are some very specific
Yeah.
things about people with Down syndrome. And certainly now, my daughter doesn't have it, but all the medical issues that go along with Down syndrome, that have to be understood.
It's almost like you need a one-page sheet.
Right.
just to
And I
kinda
think one of the
say-
things that- here's my, soapbox is the regression disorder.
I was just gonna bring that up.
And that's a soapbox for you too, I assume. No, I don't know, maybe. But yeah, no?
Not yet for me, but
I had a friend whose brother went through it very, very severely.
Yeah, my daughter went through it very severely, she's back about 85%.
Okay.
But,
Yeah.
what is that?
it's coming up more now.
No, it's not coming up more now, it's being recognized more now.
Correct, correct. Thank you for that.
They were, originally, people were diagnosed with early Alzheimer's if they were in their 20s.
Mhm.
And if they were teenagers, they were diagnosed with autism. Okay, and what it is it's a set of behaviors, skill loss, I was gonna say a bunch of behavior issues that, like, complete skill loss. Like, my daughter regressed to be like a 2-year-old,
Yeah,
not younger.
and she was incredibly independent.
And she was completely independent
Right.
before that. I mean, to the point where she was looking for an apartment and was off to spend a year abroad.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
there's sleep issues. There are delusions, hallucinations, psychoses.
A lot of mental health.
A lot of mental
A lot of
health
mental
issues that
health,
go along with it. But a lot of it is
Mhm.
medical, and you can find, now my daughter doesn't have the medical markers, but she has all of the, I don't know, I'm calling it right, behavior markers. Catatonia. Catatonia is a big piece of regression.
Mhm.
She's still on medication for that.
Yeah.
And people think it's for anxiety, it's not, it's a neurological issue that she needs.
And is that something that becomes permanent, or is there progress after that?
Well, I don't know
I
that
think
I
it's
knew.
still,
It's
it's still newer. Like, the people are still
very
looking into
new.
it
It's
more.
very
Yeah.
new.
Mhm.
See,
And
I learned something every
Yeah.
single
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
it's new in terms of research. being
Correct,
done on
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
And the person who, the picture that was taken, the person, she's been a real spearhead in this
yes,
community for that specific
Yes.
thing, and has been a doctor for the adults in his community and made connections in
And-
California for the community. But I think it's something that's there, and I didn't know about it, and I didn't know about it
Yeah.
when it happened.
Yeah.
It's not out there
Yeah.
because I'm
You
out
read,
there.
you're out there and you read.
And I was lost, and I was drowning, and I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Except I remembered that a friend of mine had a kid with it, and then she put me in touch with other friends
Yeah.
who had kids with it, and
Mhm.
I found people, but,
And I'm
I was
hearing it more
lost
and
and
more.
drowning.
Yeah. Well, because, and the signs are very much like, I had a friend with a brother who had it, and it's like, were you sexually abused?
Right.
Were you
Was it
hurt? Because it was a
trauma-based?
trauma-based,
Yeah.
because it was all of a
lot it
sudden,
is A lot of it is trauma, but
Mhm.
it doesn't have to be such, I mean, my daughter, it wasn't a very big trauma,
Mhm.
but some people, the trauma is their brother who they're closest with went off to college.
Mhm.
It can be
Correct.
that kind of trauma.
Yeah,
That's
and then
right.
we were just, and we were like, with
Are
our,
you guys saying the trauma caused the regression, or the
No.
regression was
No, no, no,
traumatic?
the trauma causes, people with the trisomy 21, it affects their bodies differently. Trauma affects people with Down syndrome, their brain inflammation differently than it would someone who had a different kind
Yeah.
of trauma.
so to me, when I saw it, I was like, wow, to regress like this, it must have been something really big, right? And it ended up being that their cat had died.
See,
But to
I know
that,
who you're talking about. I
yes,
worked with
yes,
him.
yes, yeah.
that's a really big
And,
deal.
but we didn't recognize it at the time, right? So his sister was contacting him, I know she reached out to you as well, because, no speech at all, barely, depressed in bed, yeah. And then it took years, and he's still working his way out of it. But
Yes.
yeah,
But is he
and
getting better?
yes,
Good.
yep, he's doing great.
That's really
So
good.
he's living in a home now and doing wonderful. But yeah, it was scary
So
for
that's
him.
Yeah,
terrifying,
it was
'cause you don't
very,
know when
very
that's coming.
Very quick,
But I didn't
yes.
even know to reach out to
No.
Flower City.
I would have said, I have no idea how to help you. Like, I wouldn't even know where to begin. I started, because you're not the only one. There's another family that's
Well,
struggling.
I've been put in touch with families, and I've talked to families.
I was gonna say, this community, I feel like if, I don't think any of us ever have said we know everything.
No,
But
not
we-
even,
We most likely know somebody that does.
that's what I
That's
say.
We know
We
someone.
know somebody that we can send you to.
Mhm.
That's all I ever
And
say.
now I know someone too.
Yeah.
Yes.
But no, you absolutely can. There's a family who's been at the hospital, Galazanos, since November. They're from 2 hours out of town. And she finally made connections with Laura and me, and we went out to dinner the other day. And-
How can we support them? See,
Well,
this is where,
hopefully
then we
they're-
don't really
well,
know, you know?
Hopefully they're leaving soon.
Okay, gotcha,
So,
right.
Unfortunately, they connected only like after months and months and months and months.
Well, you know, they probably didn't know.
See, we gotta
who
get in
to reach.
touch with some people, some specialists out there.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Why didn't they
Just
say
come in
this?
balloons.
Well, because
Can you
we don't
imagine?
have, like,
Every
a group
hotel.
of people with depression
Yeah.
and stuff. And maybe
Well, we
should
don't
have
know
a
if we
show.
don't have a group either, you know, there could be more people.
Well, there are more people.
Well, right. And how do we prepare for
And then part of that is like HIPAA too, right?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
no one can share,
Oh,
right? So I
yeah.
think that's
Very
a big
careful.
part too. So it's like, it has to be the families wanting to reach out because
Right.
there's, so
Well,
that
no,
would
but
be a
if
big thing.
Parents don't know that there's something to reach out to.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can give all the resources we have, but they have to make that
Sure.
first move.
Yeah.
And I think that's hard because, like you said, if you're underwater.
Right.
The last thing you're thinking about.
Even the lack of babies going to Gigi's, where are all these babies? It could simply be like the social skills of the parent through COVID have been lost.
Amen.
Like
Right.
they don't know how to
That's right.
reach out. They don't know how to
Mhm.
just walk in somewhere.
Mhm.
You know, like we were all isolated for a very long time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And we-
everything
we
changed,
as
no doubt.
neurotypical adults
Mhm.
lost skills.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
So it's 12 o'clock now,
Oh,
and I just wanted to go through the panel one more time and just ask if you have any final thoughts on anything.
We're not-
I know we
we're
had
not
a great
doing this for
conversation
3
with
hours?
Kristen,
Yeah.
but-
Yeah, because I have
I
like
know,
2
I'm
more
like-
hours of stuff to tell you about.
I could like pour a glass of wine and chat right
Hey,
now.
man.
Any upcoming dates or events that you want to put out there?
Because it's being recorded.
Go first, let me think.
We have our car show this Sunday at Adrian Jules. It's from 9 to 11. And then we have our golf tournament in August. It's August 10th at Mill Creek Golf Club.
That's super fun.
Yes,
Into
both really amazing events. if you want to volunteer, we always need volunteers, but we also need participants and people to show up. So that's my spiel.
We are in the thick of spring summer term right now, which will go through mid-July, and then I'm gone on my honeymoon for a long time. And so fall registration will be up within the next month, though. So looking for classes, fall
That's good to
registration.
know,
Yes.
Yeah. And Flower City Down Syndrome Network has our first ever golf tournament, June 15th on a Saturday morning. We need golfers, volunteers, anyone who wants to come for good food and doesn't want to golf. And then our next big fundraiser is Buddy Walk in October, so October 20th for that. Same
Where is
thing.
that? Where's
That one's going to be at Sunshine Camp, Rotary Sunshine Camp. That's super fun. And then in between, we're always looking for volunteers, support families at events and all that, so.
Than't you so much for having us.
Yes,
We very much
thank you.
appreciate it.
This was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Who's gonna?